You're fired!
Thank you.
All right, got some big stories. Well, one's a huge story, and one's an interesting topic. I want to get into both them today. Obviously, the firing of big-time, long-time players in the Dolphins personnel department. Got the and add that to Greer, and you got some big change coming from the Dolphins. Then there's also the video making its way around. It's funny. McDaniel riding in his lowrider, hanging out to the street where all the Bills fans hang out by the stadium in Miami. I want to cover that too. I think it's funny. But it also, I think there's a serious part to it I want to touch on. So these two things together is what I want to cover here today, guys. Clearly, you can feel it. We're at a crossroads. And we don't know what the future's going to hold. We can only hold our tuchuses tight and pray that finally this is the right thing. I don't care if you love Tua, you hate Tua, you believe in your offensive line, you don't. If you're a Dolphins fan, you're tired of this. You want success. You want to win. You want to see something that makes you feel good instead of wanting to vomit more often than not. But there is this thing. You got Ross. He's going to hand it off to his son-in-law and his daughter. We want something to make us feel good because this family's running the team for the next couple of decades. And so this two-way go right now. And I do think no matter what, the Dolphins are in a better state. But how good, that's going to be the key. I think we'll be more consistent going forward. I think the things we're seeing, we're at least headed in a better way by moving off the guys we have. But how good is it going to be? And that's the key. So I'm going to get into it here, guys. Don't forget, if you can, like, subscribe, comment, and view as long as you can. There's like a hype button, stuff like that. If you guys can hit that, that keeps Curtis in the biz, gives the algo gods their sacrifices, makes my sponsors happy, and keeps me doing what I'm doing. So if you could do that, I'd be very proud and happy. I appreciate all you guys have been doing so far. So anyway, let's get into the good news. Good news first. Yellow news is funny news, although it's sort of annoying in some ways. Look, you can't suck is what we have for this long and tinker. You've got to make serious cuts because there's something really wrong. And the removal of Chris Greer is a massive piece of the puzzle. It clearly is going to make me feel a lot happier not seeing this guy slither through his conferences. Champ Kelly, I don't think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But he's played football. I like his demeanor better. And I believe he is going to be a better guy for us. Whether that's short-term, long-term, we'll find out. So we fired Adam Engroff and Anthony Hunt, co-directors of player personnel. They were shortly after Greer's departure let go. The three of those guys together is a huge deal. Now, Engroff, he joined in 99. That was during the Jimmy Johnson tenure. Hunt joined in 94. That was during the Shula tenure, making them among the longest tenured front office staffers. Now, Engroff, he was served as college director of college scouting from 2016 to now, and co-director of pro personnel 2019 onward, and Hunt was co-director of pro personnel 2013 on. And if you've been a Dolphins fan over that time, you know, for the most part, when you add the aggregate of all our moves in pro personnel and scouting, we sucked. Now, they were here back with Jimmy Johnson. We found a bunch of Hall of Famers, but they weren't of the same stature. But you go from 2013 onward, it's been a long drought. There's been some good players, don't get me wrong, But it's not about a few good players. It's about the overall consistency, the overall philosophy. And you add in how big Greer was to this puzzle, and getting rid of all three of these guys clearly says we're in some serious, not makeup job, but facelift job. And that is a great sign going forward. I do think that we've got to wait to this offseason to see what Ross is doing with Champ Kelly. What is he doing with Mike McDaniel to pull this thing all together? People were saying that we didn't get rid of draft picks. I mean, we didn't get rid of players in the deadline, the trade deadline, because we wanted to give that option to the new GM coming in. But if that was the case, wouldn't we have waited for the new GM to choose on Engroff and Hunt? So does this mean that we're leaning towards Champ Kelly and McDaniel or not? I don't know. I just know it's a good move no matter how you slice it. We got to wait to see how this thing goes. There's a lot of high momentum right now. Fans are very excited, and it should be. We beat the Bills. How long has it been since we beat the Bills? The last time we beat the Bills was in the snow, the heavy sun game, I don't know, 3 years ago or something like that. And we beat them in spectacular fashion. We're only 3-7. There's that reality. But I do think there's a little bit of extremism on the hype, but maybe it proves out to be true. We got to wait and see for the rest. There's 7 games left. And I think McDaniel should win at least 3 out of those 7, if not 4. And I think if he wins 3, he's back next year. It's been my evaluation. Some people said no. This Bills game was a massive push towards him returning. So there's nothing we can do. We can gripe, we can complain, we could be accurate, we could be inaccurate. In the end, Ross controls our destiny, and we've got to see. So he's made some good moves here, getting rid of the snake, Greer, and these 2 guys, Engroff and Hunt. Let's see how it plays out. And then we got to evaluate from there. Now, on the McDaniel front, I thought it was very funny, obviously. Seeing McDaniel with the watch hanging outside, low Ryan in the car, pulling up to the Bills fans. And at first I was like, oh, that's got to be AI. It's an image. And then we saw the video. And I'm like, that is crazy. Did he really do that? And then I saw them ask him, and he gave a not as accurate answer. Like, he didn't dial it in. He was like, well, there's AI, and I live in the area. I was like, holy cow, did this guy really do this? So let me check this thing out. So I went to all the little Twitter things, and all I could find was videos. Now, in the end, is this really a big deal? Some fans are really sold by it. And if he did do it, they love it. And most fans do love it. This can help McDaniel come back if that's the plan for Ross. But what I want to talk to quickly is, I don't know if, I don't want to blow anybody's thunder, but I was very surprised. I said, wow, that's odd. Somebody's walking down the street to an intersection with the camera, and they noticed McDaniel. Like, how do you know? How did that happen? So I said, I wonder who this guy is. Is it or girl? Is it a Bills fan, Dolphins fan? So I went to all these different content providers, and all I could find was video and no links to the original poster. So I did an online search, and guys, it's curious. I can't believe Shannon Sharp covered. I can't believe that all these journalists, all these content providers, all these big voices, I don't know, maybe somebody did at this stage, but if you go looking for the original poster, which you'd figure if anybody had taken a picture of McDaniel lowriding to the Bills fans, they would be blown up. They would have 50,000 subs or Twitter things or whatever. It'd be a big thing for them. But the original poster, you can't track it down to that. The original poster is NFL memes. It's an aggregate. That is it doesn't mean it is, but how would NFL memes publish that without original poster? And that's a huge sign that an aggregate and a memes channel is the first to post it. I put AI on it multiple times, and they can't find an original poster. Now, maybe any of you guys out there can take a look and see, because if it is true, that's one thing. But if it isn't true, then that's another thing. Guys, if it's true, it makes me laugh. I'm like, all right, I think that's like not what I want my coach to do, but I thought it was funny. I might actually go towards McDaniel and say, hey, that was a cool thing to do. But if it's a fraud and he's kind of like half taking credit for it, and the majority of the people out there pushing it's like it's legit, it's like stolen valor. I don't like that. I mean, I'm not going to kill a guy over it, but there's a famous saying by C.S. Lewis. He says, if you despise honor, don't be surprised if there's a traitor in your army. I don't want my coach pretending that he did something that he didn't. And I don't understand why no one's checked this out and said, hey, there's no original poster. Nobody. They're running like it's true now. So I don't know if it's true or not, guys, but I want you to consider this, because if you're leaning towards McDaniel over this situation, and this is the truth, that there's no original poster and he's taking credit or pretending to pseudo take credit for it, then I want you to know the deal, and you can do whatever you want with it. But I think it's kind of weak if he's taking credit for something he didn't do, even if it's like, But if he really did do it, maybe I will go for McDaniel. But right now, it just seems a little curious. So, but it's part of a hustle, though. Like McDaniel told us that this was great chemistry this year. The O-line was good. Last year's chemistry. So I just wish that he wouldn't go this route if it's not true. I guess we'll never know. It's for you to decide. I'd actually prefer it to be true than him to pretend like it's not. It is when it's not, but I don't think it can be true. I think the likelihood is very low. Definitely if somebody took that in, their count would be blown up. So I don't know, take it for what you want. But if this is a hustle, this whole thing, and McDaniel's pushing it, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But it is very good news up until this point that we did get rid of these guys. I do think it tends that McDaniel's going to be back, especially with this win and this narrative through the making fun of the Bills fans. And then you saw Champ Kelly meeting the players as they came in, which is what Roseman does with the Eagles. I think that you're getting Champ Kelly and McDaniel back. And it could be good, guys. Without those guys in the background screwing things up, maybe we'll get this right. We've got some nice picks out of this draft, although Joan is very... So we'll see. But I leave it up to you. Take it for what you want. But clearly, whatever you think about the McDaniel thing, this firing of Engroff, Hunt, and Greer is good news. Let's hope we magnify this a little more. Ross stays out of the picture, turns over the true control of this team to AGM, whoever that is, and we build physical and get on track. McDaniel comes back and we build a good offensive line, tight end group, and run game. Maybe we can get to where we want to go. Let's pray. Let's hope. Whatever it is, it turns into be a winner, because we need it. Curtis saying, be well, go Fins. Curtis out. Start building your own online sports book today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.